Grayson Report. Happy Monday. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Let me know if you could hear me. Thumbs or press 1. What's up, Lisa Boo, D Nice, Daniel Miles, Julissa, Delia Lux, Bon Bon, Louisa's Life, Nikki Bella, Diane, Tammy, Jennifer Marie, Spirit of the Trees. Yay, you guys can hear me. Chris Barber. All right, guys. We're hoping that the ghosts do not mess with my mic. I switched the cable. We'll see what happens. The only way to test this is to use my other browser. So we'll see what happens. Praying that works. So how's everyone's Monday? Did anybody do anything interesting over the weekend? I went to Nocturnal Wonderland. I had a freaking awesome time. It's always cool to go to those things. But it was even cooler this time because if you guys know who Todd Terry is, he's like a legend as a house music DJ. And Lewis and I were able to get backstage and see him. And I got to watch him mix. Like, I was standing almost right behind him. So I thought that was kind of cool. Like, who could say that? They saw Todd Terry mixing. Bernadette, what's up? Billy Cat, Jen Decker, Chameleon UK. So did anyone else do anything interesting over the weekend before we start things off? Hold on, let me set my tablet up so I can see you guys. Chris Barber, he is a legendary house music DJ. Daniel Miles watched the X-ray being done live of the alien. Oh, cool. Jennifer Marie, I actually have one. It's in the other room. I should show you guys. I actually do have a spirit box. An actual one. But I should show it on screen, and of course I left it in the other room. Duh, George. Chameleon UK is working all weekend, otherwise I would have joined you at the gig. D Nice, say hi to Butter for me. Billy Cat, trying to get my daughter ready for university. It requires patience. It definitely does. Definitely does. Chris Barber's going, who's the handsome fellow with the light up eyes? I have not named him yet. He's sporting, he's a fan of Grayson Report. He's sporting a bucket hat that says Grayson Report right now. I don't know if you guys could see it. But he is a huge fan of mine, hence why he's back there. Louisa Life says, got my sister for the week. She's mentally handicapped. Aw. You got this, Louisa. D Nice goes, I just told her right now and she gave me the cutest look. Jennifer Marie goes, that's Daddy Bonfire. Mistress Meg, thank you for the super sticker. Hearts for Mistress Meg. I don't know why my voice is cracking. Chris Barber goes, give him a sandwich. He looks hungry. I think it'll go right through him. Luisa goes, she's my girl. I have guardianship, but she lives with the caretaker. Oh, cool. So she's just visiting, I should say. Or does Luisa, or does she live with you and have a caretaker? I should have reworded that better. Yes, Luisa says. Alice, what is up? I have no idea why my voice is cracking today. I didn't have to work today, but I'm still tired from the weekend. Woo! Of course, the stage that Lewis played on was like at the top of the hill. So you literally had to walk up a hill, and I was walking faster than some of the people there that were half my age. I was like, come on. Louisa goes, no, they live 2.5 hours away. Oh, okay. Bernadette, I adopted a haunted doll named Chloe. She should be here by next week. I'm super excited, Bernadette, to see if she's actually haunted, or you have what type of spirit you have with it. Chameleon UK goes, I prefer the term caregiver. A caretaker in the UK is a janitor. I did not know that. Good to know. I did not know that. And what's up? Ozzy Walks, what is up? Jen, it's saying upgraded membership. Jen, thank you. Even though it says new member here, so it's like that's why it's always good to have my tablet. Because Louisa says that's what I meant. Rochelle, what's up? Hearts for Jen, guys. Upgraded membership to the Beta Wolf Pack. Hearts for Jen. Thank you for the support. Bernadette goes, Louisa goes, we'll go to Louisa first. My keyboard stick spilled my tea one day. Oh, I hate when that happens. I hate because you're trying to hit it and it doesn't do it. Totally understand, Louisa. I've been there. Bernadette goes, she's 20 years old and she was unalive. She does not know she passed away and is very scared but friendly. Oh, cool. Ron Wynn Jones, what is up? All right, guys, we're going to start things off with Ghost in the News. It's where I Google Ghost in the News and see what pops up. And today I have an article about the nation's most haunted house is hidden in Chestnut Hill. So let me share the screen. Ghost in the News, Nerd Report. Not Ghost in the Nude. News. Nerd Report in the house, guys. All right, this is from the Chestnut Hill Local. It's Ghost in the News. Oh, Daniel, you hear that every time? I'll try to go Ghost in the News. Yes, Rochelle, it's a new skeleton. I have yet to name it. Lisa Boo, what is up? So this is the nation's most haunted. Let me bring the mic up closer. This is the nation's most haunted house is hidden in Chestnut Hill. Written by Heather Gray. Daniel has Selective hearing. Ozzy just finished an edit, trying to get as many as I can finish before I go away in a few days. My brain is burned out from editing all day for 5 days straight. Ozzy, I commemorate you for that, because editing can be tedious. Bernadette Bernadette wants me to say ghost in the nudes, but I guess you guys thought I said nudes anyways. So I guess it doesn't matter. So it starts off. Mead is Isby may have been a magnet for the supernatural. He was 6 at the time of his first encounter, playing with his brother outside the family mansion on Mermaid Lane. As the boys caroused around the dolphin fountain on the front lawn, Mead saw the reflection of his 5-year-old brother Steve in the water. Within seconds, the image morphed into a skull. That harrowing experience would be an eerie harbinger of things to come for young Steve and for Chestnut Hill's Balleroy Mansion, which would eventually be known as the most haunted house in the nation. Have any of you guys heard of this mansion? I have not. Invisible Rose, what is up? It would become the backdrop for a basement explosion, a flying teapot, shows during which puppets mutate into moving dolls with skeletal faces, and ghostly sightings of an old woman, a monk, and of Stevie himself. Oh, that's scary. Spirit of the Trees has not heard of this. Luisa's Life, no. Ozzy Walks, nope. I have not either, so this is going to be super interesting. The house was built in 1911, but the furniture is quite old. I suppose the psychic phenomenon has perhaps come along with the furniture. Mead Esby, the now deceased owner of the storied mansion, told the Philadelphia Inquirer in 1973. The estate sits at the end of a long, narrow drive, and at the top, a steep staircase. Today, the 30-room home, built in 1911, is home for a family of 4. They are working to restore the Chestnut Hill mansion to honor its history and its most famous earthly inhabitant, Mead, whose formal name was George Mead Esby, and who was also known as the Squire of Ballery. In 1925, Mead and Stevie moved to Belroy with their parents, Majem Stevenson and Henrietta Esby. Henrietta was the granddaughter of the famous victor of the Battle of Gettysburg's General George Meade. The family's other prominent relatives include Cornelius Stevenson, a treasurer of the city of Philadelphia, Nicholas Wayne, a friend of William Penn, who sailed with him on the Welcome in 1683, and Society Page Philadelphia families, the Larges, Biddles, and Phillipses. The family's Chestnut Hill mansion housed Henrietta Esby's extensive collection of antique furniture, paintings, and silvers, which included a clock made for Marie Antoinette, a chair belonging to Napoleon, Governor Thompson Mifflin's dining chairs, silver flatware used by signers of the Declaration of Independence, and a poem written by Benjamin Franklin to his mother. That is quite an extensive collection. I thought I had a big collection. What's up, Cheryl King? Cheryl King saying hi, all from Tasmania. Oh, awesome. Among Henrietta Esby's vast collection of treasures, there was also a haunted Chippendale cupboard, a ghostly clock, and a cursed chair. The dreaded fountain was the outdoor source of unease. Mead wrote in his unpublished biography, My Uninvited Ghost, that he had been unnerved by the fountain since they had first arrived at Ballery, but young Stevie became fixated on it. Soon, Stevie began to suffer from terrible headaches. He was taken away from Ballery to stay in the home of his nanny, but spent hours every day staring at the photograph of the fountain. In 1931, Mead's morbid vision came to pass. Stevie died of a blood clot in his brain. Whoa. When Mead was a young teen, an explosion occurred in the basement during a tea party, and guest was hit by a flying teapot. A puppet show put on by Mead terrified the audience when the faces of the puppet morphed into a skull. After the death of Henrietta Esby in 1961, Mead and the Ballery staff and visitors began to experience an uptick in ghost sightings. David Belt, a restoration specialist who worked at the historic mansion, was outside near the fountain with his coworkers when he saw a figure. I noticed a person looking out the window at me, a young kid with blonde hair. He had his hands on the sill and was looking down toward the yard. I said to my buddy, "Look at the little kid." Then it just faded off, and my buddy said, "Man, that was really strange." Matthew, what's up? Hold on, guys. I hear my phone like beeping, so I was like, the worker refused to return to work at Ballery. Mead never spoke about the ghost to his aging father, a seemingly nonsense man, but after Major Stevenson's death, Mead found a note written by him that read, "The ghosts are here. Don't be afraid." Mead seemed to take his father's word to heart. He hosted many parties and charities events at Ballery and shared ghost stories with rapt attendees. His tales about the mansion's spirit world had been dramatized on the TV show Sightings and are listed in the National Directory of Haunted Places. D Nice was go, that was me. Among them is the story associated with Ballery's most famous antique, the cursed chair. The 200-year-old blue chair sat in the blue room, and legend has it that guests who were invited to sit in it by a ghostly spirit named Amanda died soon after. Deaths associated with the chair include Esby's housekeeper, Catherine Scullin, and Paul. Ooh, I like that name, Scullin. Maybe for one of my skeletons? And Paul Kimmins, the curator at Ballery, who died of heart failure 2 weeks after sitting in the chair. Kimmins told several people that he was being followed by the ghost of Amanda in the 2 weeks leading up to his death. Every time I hear the name Amanda, I think of Saw, the movie Saw. Mead invited famed psychic Judith Richardson to Ballery. 13 chairs were arranged in a semicircle for a seance in the blue room. Those in attendance were asked to sit with their feet flat on the floor, palms upward. The lights were put out, except for a small candle on the table in front of Richardson, who channeled multiple ghosts for almost 3 hours. Richardson saw a vision of Amanda and sensed a disturbing presence in the cellar beneath the blue room. Years later, a different psychic advised the current owner of the house to sage the left corner of your basement immediately to cleanse the area of evil spirits, just in case people don't know what sage is. But the new owner did not descend into the cellar to confront whatever or whomever might lurk there. The current residents of Ballery shows a love for the history of the house and are respectful of the ghost and the spirit of Mead, who died in 2005. The couple's son has grown up there and never shown any concern or fear about the house. They throw a lot of parties, especially around Halloween. "We inherited a house that's expected to have parties, so we try to have parties as much as we can," said one of the current owners, who prefer not to give her name. They also inherited many artifacts left by Mead, including books, photographs, ephemera, and a Ouija board they found in the attic. Ooh. So they kind of, that's weird how the owners was like, "We inherited a house that did parties, so we're going to do parties." You don't necessarily have to do parties. Matthew, I saw that sign. I still got to check it. I still got to go to the Dollar Tree and check it out. Julissa says, "Good name, Scullin." I know. Hey, Scullin for the big one. Rochelle suggested Roland. Heather whatever goes, "That was strange. Ghost parties or the guy wants human backup." D Nice is like, "That is a good name. I might use it. Scullin." Scully Culkin. Spirit of the trees. That's a good one too. So, guys, what did you think of that article? Would you? Well, I mean, I don't even think you could visit it because people own it and have parties around Halloween time. So, hopefully, I wonder if you could just, when they have a party, if they just invite anybody. That would be kind of cool. Elaine, what is up? Rochelle says it's interesting, interdimensional. D Nice says use it. Heather Whatever's like, you visit it, I'm a chicken. Well, I'm wondering if when they have parties, if they just invite anybody or if it's you have to be on their guest list. Matthew goes Skelly Clarkson. I would visit it because I guess the current, or they were saying someone just didn't care about what was there, like they didn't show any fear or anything. So maybe D Nice goes, any house with a big area by the stairs, whatever it's called, is always a house that is for parties. Jennifer Marie goes, I'll get myself invited to a party and bring my plus 34. Diane goes, be a party crasher. They'll be like, who are you? Oh, I was invited by so and so. Who's that? Oh, apparently they know you. Rochelle goes, stairs shall never face the entry door, risk bad spirits. I notice a lot of houses do, but I saw a house in my neighborhood that actually has the stairs in front of the doorway, which I was like, so obviously that house, whoever built that house did not know that was a thing. All right, guys, I almost forgot. Jennifer Marie sent me another story, and I was actually going to start off with it, and I kind of forgot that I was going to start off with it. So we'll do that if I can find it. Here it is. All right, this story, if you guys have a story, it could be a UFO story, it could be a haunted story, it could be unexplained. If you have a story you'd like to share, please email me at graysonreport13@gmail.com and I'll read it on my next stream. So this one is from Jennifer Marie. She goes, more haunting experiences. And she goes, here are other spooky stories from the same town from my last email, Brea, California. My grandparents' house was in the same town in a large housing tract down the hill from the high school. There are stories from multiple homes in that housing tract. My grandparents had a couple of crucifixes hung up in their house, one of which was above the door to their bedroom. My parents usually dropped us off at their house every morning so they could get to work while my grandmother got me and my sibling off to school. We used to climb into bed with my grandparents before they were ready to get up and start their day. On many occasions, while laying there, I could see the outline of two angels above their bed. I could see the outline of the wings even. They were absolutely terrifying, and I was not comforted by their presence. Many, many years later, long after they moved out, I told them about the angels, and my grandmother, very committed in her religious beliefs, was happy to hear that she had angels looking over them, but I was scared of them. I am more terrified of angels than I am of spirits based on appearance. I do not have personal recollection of the next story, but my grandmother had told me that when my sibling and I were really little, like under the age of 6, we would tell her about a little girl we would see and play with when we would spend the night. I don't remember anything, but she told me that we would talk about a little girl who would play with us at night in the room. As we got older, we never reported seeing her again. Once, when my grandparents went out of town together, my great grandmother's house sat for them. She slept in their bedroom. She made my mother sleep with her because she saw a giant black dog staring at her in the house in the master suite. The night my mom stayed with her, she saw the dog too. She described the dog as all black, about 3.5 feet tall, sitting on its hind legs that would just sit there between the bed and the master bedroom. The dog would just stare at my great grandmother, never taking its gaze off of my great grandmother. My mom felt it was a protective energy, but my great grandmother would sleep clutching her rosary. She was scared of the dog and said she only ever saw it whenever she house sit for them. When I was about 9 years old, my great aunt Sharon passed away. The holiday season that followed, we all gathered at my grandparents' house. Everyone was downstairs. The kids were playing in the front of the house, while the adults were in the back of the house. I looked up at the top of the stairs and I saw my great aunt Sharon standing in one of the bedroom doorways. It is probably the first time I ever saw a spirit. It was surreal to see her, knowing she had passed away. I didn't tell anybody what I saw, but my mom and grandmother both remembered I was acting more quiet and reserved afterwards. After my parents' divorce, we lived with my grandparents for a short amount of time. Slibley and I shared the same bedroom in which I saw my great aunt. We were teenagers at this point. It was a common occurrence that our bedroom door would suddenly fly open, immediately followed by the window slamming shut. The windows were the heavy dual pane ones that you have to give a lot of effort to push up to open. So this was terrifying every time it happened. No draft or breeze would be able to open the door and close the window with that level of force that we witnessed. I would also have reoccurring dreams or nightmares, whatever you want to call it, every so often my whole life of this place, even when my grandparents lived there. When I lived there, and even after they moved out, in this dream, I am at my grandparents' house. I feel the urge to go into the backyard as if I'm following something. Their backyard had a big cement porch that led to the huge grassy area. At the back of the backyard was a little hill. At the top of the hill was the fence between their yard and the houses on the other side. In these dreams, when I get outside, at the top of the hill on the fence line is this ginormous dark energy. The energy is so big that it takes up most of the skyline. It's just a dark, dense energy. I do not know how to describe its shape, but I could probably draw it if I wanted to. The energy feels ominous, dark, heavy, and upset. I wouldn't call it angry, but it's not happy. It calls to me, but not like it's calling me back to it. It never calls me to go to it, just to notice it and be aware of its existence and be conscious that it is aware of my existence and can remind me no matter how much time has passed or how much distance between it and I. My grandparents moved in 2006 and I lived at least 900 miles away now, and in the last 6 months I still had that dream. The entity is not attached to the house because my grandparents' house is not the only house to report paranormal activity. I believe this dark energy is attached to the land that the whole housing tract sits on. 2 doors down where my grandparents were my grandparents' best friends. They were so close that even I and my siblings would hang out there as kids and even visited after my grandparents moved away. After my grandparents moved away, the neighbors began reporting seeing shadows. The wife told my grandmother she would see the shadows in the corner of her eye from time to time, but her husband was skeptical. Then one night, the husband was looking out his bedroom door in the middle of the night and saw a shadow come out of one of the other bedrooms and scurry off down the stairs. I believe them, too, started hanging crucifixes. One Halloween, we were visiting with these same neighbors, and they told us in conversation that the house in between theirs and my grandparents also said they would see shadows running around at night. They also told us that the new owners of my grandparents' house had so much activity even after hanging crucifixes that they wanted to sell the house but struggled. I have so many happy memories in that house that it is hard for me to see it as a negative haunting house, but the new owners have not had the same experiences my family did. Apparently, they have more paranormal activity than we did. The last story was shared during one of our church services long after my grandparents had moved away. This story was told around 2015 to 2016. A family that attended the same church as myself and my mom lived in the same housing tract. My grandparents lived a couple of streets from the north end, and this family lived closer to the south end, maybe half a mile apart. What's up, Wendy? The wife of the family was witnessing to the congregation about an experience she had to warn others to never allow entities permission to use you or your own energy to communicate. Before I heard her testimony, I had worked with her for a couple of years during many volunteer work projects and found her to be a very credible source. I wouldn't normally believe such a story as she told, but knowing her personally, I believe her. This is my memory of her story. She said she felt a presence in her dining room kitchen that she felt wanted to communicate. She tried to communicate with the entity without success. She could feel this entity was really wanting to communicate, so she kept trying. She then decided to allow this entity permission to use her body and her energy to communicate with her. This was a huge mistake. She then went on to describe a possession where she began speaking in tongues. She had 2 children and only her son was home with her, maybe 11 to 13 years old at the time. Her older daughter was not home. Her son called his father in a panic. He described his mother as speaking in a weird language, twisting and cocking her head funny and moving her body strangely. When the father returned to the home and saw the state of his wife was in, he tried to restrain her. He described her as going between controlling her body and having what looked like convulsions, all while speaking in tongues. He sent his young son to run to another churchgoer's house who lived nearby to call the pastor to intervene. They were able to get her back in control of her body and rid of the entity. She shared her story as a warning to others. Do not ever grant permission for a spirit to touch you. Use your energy or otherwise your person as a way to communicate. I have a great uncle who is an archaeologist. A couple of years after my fellow churchgoer shared her testimony, he had dinner with my great uncle. We had dinner with my great uncle. He shared with us what they found in the hills behind the high school, which, by the way, you can Google it. The high school is said to be haunted and is listed on some websites. Oh, I'll have to check that out. The school is Brea Linda High School. I have heard of it. This part, I think I've driven by it too. This part is relevant because the housing tract from these stories is at the bottom of the hill from the high school and the hills behind it. He said his company got contracted to do some work in those hills, although I can't remember the specifics. He said him and his crew had uncovered some Native American artifacts. Hearing this and having personal experience and knowing other credible sources who have also had experiences in the same area, I do think it is very likely that the high school and housing tracts are now cursed Native American land, if not the whole town. This is the same town from my last email. Dee Nice knows this town as she has also been there regularly. It is no secret that this town has a spooky past, present, and likely future. Even when the paranormal activity experienced in the town, I still very fondly consider it my hometown, and when I think of home, I think of Brea, California. Cool! What did you guys think of Jennifer Marie's story? I thought that was really cool. I live close by to Brea as well, so I've driven over there. They also say Brea Canyon Road is haunted. One of the stories they say is that you'll be driving and you'll see like a ghost crash, like a car crash, and a guy, I think, standing there asking for help. But then as you drive by and look through your rearview mirror, it won't be there anymore. So I've been wanting to do that, and I just haven't had a chance. Jennifer Marie goes, never allow entities to take over your body. Elaine says, so cool. Cheryl King, cool story. Julissa also says, you never ever acknowledges the entities. Rochelle says, wild story. Must have been a wild time in life for you. NJS55, what is up? Said creepy. Cheryl King again says scary. Wendy goes, I never open myself up to that. Heather whatever goes, totally believable and told so beautifully. Julissa goes, great story. Jen is like, wow. Jennifer Marie goes, yes, Brea Canyon Road, but I never saw anything there, but there was several crashes on that canyon. Yeah, there was, but it's just what I heard, but I've never seen anything. I've driven down it many times. I've never seen anything. Spirit of the Trees goes, very cool. Luisa's life goes, very interesting. Jennifer Marie goes, I know my stories are long. Not one bit. I like your stories, Jennifer Marie. That story was just as cool as your last. D Nice goes, Jennifer Marie, you are a good storyteller. You definitely are. For sure. It's just sometimes my eyes don't want to read correctly. But you are a very good storyteller. Bernadette goes, you have some awesome stories, Jennifer Marie. D Nice goes, Lisa, when she told me, my jaw dropped because I felt it. Chris Barber says, I'm a new member. Chris Barber, it didn't pop up on my end though. Hearts for Chris Barber, even though it didn't pop up on my, that's weird. Hearts for Chris Barber for becoming a new member. Ghostreport going, who's going to be the next super chat support? Jennifer Marie goes, Lisa, the high school ghost is in the theater. And I was a theater tech kid. I never saw anything there and spent most of the high schools in there, but they insist it's haunted. I may have to look that. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, Chris, it didn't pop up, which is weird. Usually it'll pop up. All right, guys, we're going to go into the next article. I just want to check, make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, let me check something real quick that I forgot about. Still transferring. All right, guys, I forgot to put all right, I'll put some music just in case I pause or something happens. D-Nice, thank you for being a member for 5 months. I want to hear more Jennifer stories. And Alice Martinez, thank you for being a part of the Wolf Pack for 4 months. Hearts. Good show, Lisa. Thank you, Alice. Hearts for D-Nice and Alice. All right, guys, we're going to the next article is from Coast to Coast, and it's Ghost Bike filmed in a British city. All right, this is an odd piece of footage from England. Shows a rideless bicycle roll across the street, and some suspect that it was being held by a ghost, though not everyone is convinced that the incident was paranormal in nature. The spooky scene was reportedly captured last week by a security camera overlooking a medieval road in the city of York, known as the Shambles, which is now a popular marketplace. In the footage seen above, the barren bike emerges out of the side street and crosses a cobblestone road before hitting a curb, which causes it to topple over to the ground. Much like many potential ghost videos that wind up posted online, their response to the strange scene has been largely mixed. Given that York is considered one of the most haunted locations in England, many viewers have posted that some kind of spirit was responsible for the bicycle's eerie ride, with some suggesting that it could be connected to an infamous apparition known as the Lost Boy, who has been seen in the city on multiple occasions. However, the way in which the bike suddenly appears from an adjoining street that is just off camera has led more skeptical observers to argue that it could have simply been pushed by a person in hopes of fabricating just such a ghostly moment. With that in mind, What's your take on the perplexing footage? Is it paranormal or merely a clever prank? Dramatic music. All right, I'm gonna play it again. So, what do you guys think? Do you think it's a fake, or do you think someone pushed it and it was able to hold its balance? Elaine goes fake. Heather, whatever. I don't know. I'm still bothered by the Lost Boy apparition. Described sad, kind of awful. Bernadette goes fake. Ozzy goes, I think if someone was pushing it, it would have moved faster, but maybe the footage was slowed down. Rochelle thinks it seems real. Susan Reich, Susan, what's up? Fake. Cheryl saying it's staged. D Nice, there's a shadow next to it as if someone was wearing a green suit to later remove themselves. Spirit of the Trees is not sure. D Nice with the hashtag Lisa full time in 2024. That is my goal for next year. I hope to reach it. I'm sure I'll reach it, but that is my goal. Heather, whatever, real. A moving shopping cart could be random, but bike? I don't know about this one. I have to see it again. Yeah, but guy, I see how what you're saying, D Nice, but it's a security camera footage. Matthew goes, a living person made that happen as a kid. There was the little red tricycle that would go by itself. Heather, whatever goes, does the town need money? Daniel goes, I found an old book at my hotel from 1964. The name is A Pictorial History of Magic and the Supernatural. Awesome pics with short stories. That sounds interesting. Cool find, Daniel. Daniel also said balance from a push as it slowed down. Susan, thank you for the super chat. Love your paranormal stories, Lisa. Hearts for Susan, guys, and thank you for the support. Spirit of the Trees goes, I don't see a shadow. I just zoomed in. I could see like the shadow from the bike. But Anne, thank you for being a member of the Wolf Pack for 5 months with a crazy heart for Anne as well. Thank you. Jennifer Murray goes, wonder how many times it takes to, or it took to get it right. I know, huh? Because it's a security camera. So if it was caught on a security camera, it's kind of hard to do the green screen thing. But there probably there's in other ways. I'm sure that you could get that bike to roll. Because there's still. And if you guys want to see some of the stuff on at Nocturnal Wonderland, go check out Rave United on YouTube. If you want to check out what we saw at Nocturnal, it reminded me because this video popped up right here. Maybe they got it to balance just right before with the push. Jennifer Murray goes, Lewis has got a serious talent. Highly recommend Rave United. And Bernadette dropped the link if you guys like dance music. Check it out. If you want to see what we did at Nocturnal, go for it. It's posted there as well. Rochelle thinks it's real. Heather, whatever, does it turn? Bernadette and Dean I both posted a link, so if you guys want to check it out and you like dance music, house music, well, we pretty much listen to kind of house music and techno, kind of, so if you like that type of music. And if you do have a ghost story you'd like to share, and I will read it on my next stream, please email me at graysonreport13@gmail.com. And D Nice shared the link in the chat, and it's on the screen as well. Jen goes, definitely love raving back in the day. I wasn't a raver, I was a rocker chick, so I'm going the opposite direction. I started out as a rocker chick, so I was part of the rock scene. The rave scene is completely different. Heather, whatever goes, you could rig it straight and balance on big tires. Thanks, Chris, for trying. Jen goes, on both. Alright. Alright, guys, I have another article from Coast to Coast. Jennifer Marie goes, the pedals didn't move, which is true. They didn't. Sabrina, what's up? Sabrina goes, I've always been a heavy metal rock punk chick. I started with like rock, like Bryan Adams rock, then went to Gin Blossoms, then went to Everclear, then went to like Blink 182 type bands. So there's 311, Blink 182, Jimmy World, all those. I can't even think of them right now. Then I went heavier, so then I ended up with Korn, Limp Bizkit, Jimmy's Chicken Shack. I always liked all kinds of music. I always listen to everything. I listen to anything from oldies to country. The only thing I really don't like is hip hop, but I've always been open to things. But now I'm like super into house music. But I've always been a lover of music, so I've always loved it. I loved every genre pretty much, except I'm not too big on hip hop. Heather, whatever goes, Coast to Coast on car radio used to scare the kids at night driving all night to Baja. Rochelle goes, Jimmy World Clarity album was great. I think I have the CD somewhere. Sabrina goes, I think I like all kinds of music. Yeah, I love music. Susan loves Jimmy, Janice, and Prince. That is a cool mix, Susan. Jen goes, I do love the Beatles and Pink Floyd too, but lyrics and how the music makes you feel is what matters to me. Same here, Jen. Spirit of the Trees goes, I now also like singer-songwriter stuff, especially Isla Nerero. Hopefully I said that right. Jennifer Marie goes, 90s alternative is the greatest genre. I started out with 90s alternative. Chris Barber goes, I've always been a rocker. D nice, I listen to mostly metal and rock, little pop here and there, but can't stand country because of childhood trauma, getting motion sickness on road trips, so I associate country with motion sickness. Oh, that sucks, D nice, but totally understand. Rochelle goes, Prince was a phenomenal person and talented artist. He definitely was. Daniel goes, I made a name, Miles All Styles, because I play a variety of music. Super awesome, Daniel. Julissa loves all music, but not so much heavy metal. Diane's classic rock for me. So speaking of coast to coast, this one, if I could share the screen. Louisa goes, I still want to cry when I think of Prince being gone. He was definitely, we've lost a lot of great musicians. I second you on that one, NJS 55. I don't like opera too much either. So this one's also from Coast to Coast. It says Thai woman claims ghost compelled her to jump from bridge into canal. I like the background that they use. A woman in Thailand nearly perished after she jumped from a bridge into a canal, and upon being rescued claimed that a ghost had actually compelled her to make the perilous leap. The bizarre incident reportedly occurred in the city of Bangkok on Tuesday morning when several astounded bystanders spotted the unnamed residents flailing around in the waters of the Sunan Chai Canal. Fortunately, they managed to put the woman to safety, and when her family later asked how she wound up in such a predicament, she offered a truly unsettling explanation for what had unfolded earlier in the day. According to the woman, while riding her bike near a bridge which crosses the canal, she noticed a man who was dressed all in white and beckoning her to come over to him. However, when she got close to the mysterious stranger, she suddenly began to feel faint and heard him say, I want you to die. I want you to die. Her memories of the eerie event ends there as she subsequently woke up and in the hospital with no idea why she was in the facility. The woman insisted that she had no desire to take her own life by jumping from the bridge and theorized that the unnerving man was a spirit who had compelled her to do so. Amazingly, the presence of the suspected ghost was seemingly confirmed by another individual who happened to be near the scene a few hours before the woman jumped from the bridge. Having heard her chilling story, Onuma Tapandong revealed that she and her mother was driving past the same spot earlier that day when she noticed a peculiar stranger dressed in the same manner described by the woman. When they turned around to get a better look at the curious man, he was nowhere to be found, leading the secondary witness to also conclude that the stranger was some kind of sinister spirit, possibly connected to the previous tragic incidents that have occurred on the bridge. So, guys, what do you think of that story? Do you think she saw a mysterious man in white that compelled her to go off the bridge, or Heather, whatever goes, don't appreciate strangers, number one. Number two, don't jump. Wendy will walk that bridge behind me, Lisa, while filming. Jeff Ferber, he goes, stranger danger. Heather, whatever goes, bummer. Do they have to use a bridge? Like, never go there again? Cheryl, yes, I believe her. Slayer selection, what is up? Jennifer Marie says, no, I think she said it to avoid an involuntary hold. Rochelle goes, definitely. She thinks she was probably already in her frame of mind, but he coaxed it. Possibly. Spirit of the Trees goes, that's crazy story. Reminds me of an encounter my dad had with a stranger before I was born. Oh, that's crazy, Spirit of the Trees. Susan Rex probably wasn't. Susan Rex says probably wasn't on the right state of mind. Might have been on something. Elaine goes, I am Switzerland on this. Slayer selection, that is super fine. Glad you were able to make it. Please, Spirit of the Trees, email me the ghost stories and I'll read them on my next stream. I like sharing your guys' ghost stories. Jennifer Marie would like to hear your stories too, as well, Spirit of the Trees. So when you get a chance, please share. I believe that she believed that she saw something because Asian countries are very in tune with the spirit world. So I feel like I believe that she saw what she saw. I think she saw it, but I don't know the history of that bridge either. If I knew the history of the bridge, maybe it'll add more credibility to it or that area. Sabrina, please share. Rochelle loves hearing everybody's stories as well. Jennifer Marie goes, oh, I missed that part when she said she was in an Asian country. I believe it's legit. I think it was Thailand. And two people, like a person earlier could collaborate that story, saying that they saw a man in white and then he disappeared. So they too believe it was some sinister spirit. So I'm 50-50 with it because I don't know the history of the area. If I knew the history of the area, then I can be like, oh yeah. Water Dragon, I am, but I decided to go on an hour early because I didn't work today. So I went on a little earlier. But it is Mondays at 7, Water Dragon. So don't worry, I just went on early today. Diane goes, or maybe the canal is haunted other than the bridge. True. Or the area. We don't know. I don't dismiss that. I do believe her, though, that she saw something. Water Dragon, a pesky. YouTube is being pesky with their notifications. No problem, Wendy. But that story is trippy. Just imagine waking up at the hospital and they were like, so why did you do what you did? Like, here, if you said something like that, they would commit you. For sure. Yeah, Heather, whether like a crazed ghost. Or just this evil spirit that needed your soul or something. I don't know. Something like that. Thank you, Spirit of the Trees. Jennifer Marie goes, in the US, they would immediately believe she was suffering from hallucinations and run a talk ring. Yes, they would. They would make sure she wasn't on anything. Julius, it's like the movie Smile. Yes, that movie was crazy. I still have to revisit though, because I could not get into it. But the fan film that movie's based on, I could get into. Like the concept of it was crazy. But the movie, for some odd reason, I could not get into it. But then when I saw the fan film, because there's a fan film that Smile is based on, that one was like loads creepier. And I was like, what? Water Dragon, yes! I think I'm going to name him Skeleton? What was it? I forgot what was her name of. Scullyton? Definitely. Then they would send you to a psych ward, as Wendy says. Rochelle goes to Smile on Netflix. It was on, I think it was on Paramount Plus, if I wasn't mistaken. Skullin! I need to write that down because I'm going to forget. Thank you, Julissa. Because I was like, wait a minute, what did I name him? Susan goes, reminds me of The Shining and the twins. Oh my gosh. Come play with us, Danny. All right, hold on. Let me, because it would help if I start an article and it was at the beginning, the middle. All right, the next article is ghostly guests. They check in, but they can never leave. Meet the ghost of the Lord Baltimore Hotel. Let me share the screen. Dude, that water dragon, that movie is gruesome. I spit on, have any of you guys seen I Spit on the Grave? Oh my god, that is just like a gruesome. Jen goes, the hotel we're staying at right now not only looks like the shining hallways, but is probably very haunted. Super cool. All right, this is from the Baltimore Banner. And it's for a National Ghost Hunting Day event planned at the historic hotel. A woman and her lovers are quarreling on the mezzanine of the Lord Baltimore Hotel. In the ballroom, a couple whirls under the chandelier, growing perturbed if interrupted. And a little girl named Molly is bouncing a red ball down the carpeted corridor, seeking to play forever and ever and ever. These are some of the souls said to filter through the hallways of the 95-year-old Lord Baltimore, the city's oldest continually operated hotel. Mediums often state the hotel is crowded, said Lee Johnson Lowe, the hotel's sales director. There are a lot of spirits here. Mediums often state the hotel is crowded. There are a lot of spirits here. That is why a team of paranormal investigators plan to descend on the hotel for National Ghost Hunting Day on September 30th. Wielding voice recorders, electricity monitors, thermal imagery cameras, and a cat ball. More on the latter. Rob Stakowicz, founder of a company called Get Haunted, will lead participants through a ghost hunting boot camp before sending them off to seek the hotel's permanent residence. Sakowicz, a former engineer, got into the ghost hunting business in 2008 after the death of his father. His daughter, then a toddler, would periodically greet her deceased grandfathers and chat and play with them. Sakowicz began researching ghosts, honing his powers of perception and visiting haunted houses, eventually turning his passion for the paranormal into a career and a business. Sakowicz and the 28 ghost hunters on his team are slated to host events at 32 sites this year, he said. That is actually pretty cool. Ghosts are always there, but this is the time of year that people start thinking of them, said Stakowicz. I believe there are other dimensions and we thin the veil somehow. The veil must be quite diaphanous at the Lord Baltimore because guests, the flesh and blood kind, frequently report encounters with unearthly beings, Johnson Lowe said. I have indeed had guests ask me, what is the deal with the red ball? Johnson Lowe said, they don't know anything about the story, but they see a red ball in the hallway. Ooh, that is creepy. Other guests reports hearing a pair of children playing in the hallway, or a woman, her husband and her lover, a love triangle of the long dead, quarreling on the mezzanine level. There's also an odd indentation or handprint in a penthouse room that no paint or wallpaper could obscure, Johnson Lowe said. In some cases, it's only after guests leave and talk with others that they realize they had an odd experience, such as repeatedly feeling their elbow nudged off a table while at the hotel, he said. Although Johnson Lowe describes himself as a not believer, he acknowledges that he has been in the presence of activity that is not normal in the hotel. But he's not quite a believer. That's crazy. He needs more evidence. When the Lord Baltimore opened in December of 1928, more than 800 people paraded into a lobby filled with palms, ferns, and cut flowers to be serenaded by orchestra and a soprano. The Baltimore Sun reported at the time photos from the era showed crowds of women in flapper gowns and long strings of pearls, with men in three-piece suits calling to mind the black and white party photos from the movie The Shining, which was set at the fictional Overlook Hotel. Dude, who loves the flapper girl look? For some odd reason, I just love it. I have a picture of my grandmother that was from the 20s, and she has almost a similar hairstyle. And I've always been fascinated with it. It's such an awesome style. I don't know why. I don't think there was a ball in the movie The Shining. No. He goes to the bar, but I don't see him. Ozzy goes, so classic. I love it. D Nice goes, I love the wavy style. Rochelle goes, I like the look, very burlesque before raunchy. It's like very classy. I love it. Less than a year after the Lord Baltimore opened, the stock market crashed, touching off the Great Depression and perhaps leading to the arrival of the hotel's first ghost. The hotel was the tallest building in Maryland at the time, and several despondent businessmen leaped from its roof. Johnson Lowe said, indeed, Molly's believed to be the daughter of a couple who lost their fortune in the market. According to legend, she was clutching a red ball when her parents brought her to the hotel. After the family, both parents and Molly plunged... What? Molly still wanted to play. While a search of historical newspapers did not reveal accounts of such an incident, there are several articles that people committing S at the hotel. Gertrude Merkin, a divorcee and secretary, shot herself in the room of her former boss after he refused to marry her. According to November 1931 Baltimore Sun article, railroad passenger agent Guy P. Clifton drunkenly jumped out the window of his 12th story room after his wife complained about his excessive drinking, the Evening Sun reported in 1933. Whoa. That is far up. Luminaries, including Amelia Earhart, Babe Ruth, and Martin Luther King Jr., have passed through the red brick French Renaissance-style hotel over the decades. Built on the site of a smaller hotel, the Lord Baltimore has changed hands several times and undergone a few major renovations. The Rubel family, art aficionados who purchased the Lord Baltimore in 2013, have worked to restore many of the hotel's historic details, including the gilded floral fresco ceiling above the lobby. Regardless of the prominence of the ghosts, numerous mediums and paranormal investigators have attested to their presence. Johnson Lowe said several have detected the ghostly dancers in the ballroom. They seem to grow angry when disturbed. A speakeasy, a secret bar hidden behind a mirror wall in the Versailles room, is the home of the spirit of a madam who is running a brothel out of the hotel. Longtime employees said they have grown accustomed to the strange happenings. Deborah Davis, who has worked in food and beverage at the hotel for 39 years, said she often feels a warm and protective presence around her at the hotel, which she credits with keeping her safe as she travels home by bus and on foot late at night. That is cool. A few times, she has felt a mysterious tap on her shoulders, alerting her to a threat. That's cool to have a protective spirit. Thank you, Heather, whatever, for your PayPal. Hearts for Heather, whatever, guys. Thank you, Heather, whatever. You're awesome. Thank you for the support. And this is the Versailles room, which they said is where there used to be a brothel, and it's haunted by a madam. Or there's a hidden wall behind the versatile room. Or Versailles room. But sometimes the spirit seems intent on making mischief, Davis says. You walk down the hall and things fall down. You hear a knock, 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 she says. I say, Molly, I'm not playing today. I'm not in a mood for this. At other times, the elevator will unexpectedly take her to the 19th floor, reportedly the epicenter of paranormal activity, Davis said. At the ghost hunting event, Stakowitz, an assistant, will demonstrate how to use several pieces of equipment that detect sound, electrical waves, and heat. He said he often tosses out a lightweight ball for cats, which some ghosts, perhaps of the feline variety, appear to manipulate. But you don't need all the equipment, Stakowitz says. Your body is the most important piece of equipment, the hair standing up on your neck. That is cool. If I lived in that area, I would love to go on I would love to do that. That'd be so awesome. Hey guys, do any of you have any like ghost walks or in your area? Because I know it's spooky season, so a lot of the places are advertising their ghost walks and stuff like that. I know there's one in Whittier and it's already sold out. So but they have it, I think they have it all year round. So maybe one day I will catch it, because Whittier apparently is a hot spot. And they also do have one in LA where I guess you go through Chinatown, which is kind of cool. Jennifer Marie goes, I wish, but this place is so boring. Rochelle goes, I don't know, haven't looked into it here. Luisa's Life, Newboro, Indiana has a ghost walk in October. That is cool. Are you gonna, Luisa? Are you gonna join the ghost walk? Jennifer Marie goes, I did a land. That's still cool, Jennifer Marie. That sounds cool. Julissa goes, no, I wish. I know there's a few here. Like I said, one sold out, and then there's one in LA area. I think there's one in Temecula, because it's the same company, so they do Solving, Temecula, the one in LA, and they do another one. I can't remember. Heather whatever goes, Virginia City, Nevada once. I want to go to Virginia City so bad. Rochelle goes, they do a zombie crawl thing on 16th Street. Louisa goes, Evansville has an event at Willard Library. Grayley. I read about that, Louisa Life. That was with the gray lady. That is so cool. I did a show. I did mention her in one of my past shows. No way, Louisa. That's super cool. My ex saw her. I did do a show about the gray lady. Or it was in one of my shows. That is cool. So does anyone else live in an area where they have like ghost events? Because I know it's spooky season. Technically, spooky season starts in September, as they call it, pre-Halloween. The whole month of September is pre-Halloween. I love this time of year. It's when the weather starts to get cool, finally. I don't know if there's any other ones that we have here. I know we have haunted houses. Oh, we have the Queen Mary one. I did it years ago, but I'd like to do it again. Jennifer Marie, we done the ghost tour at the Queen Mary a few times. Jen goes, I'm in Arizona. It's all haunted here. I know we have a bunch of haunted attractions too, as well. Louisa goes, sister-in-law was cleaning offices on upper floor when the gray lady floated past the window going down the alley. Ooh, crazy. That's a super cool experience. Chris goes, I'm not sure what they have here in Ohio. Oh, there's Heritage Lane here too as well. That was well, they didn't, it was featured in Ghost Adventures, but they didn't call it Heritage Lane, but I knew right off what it was when they came to the gate. But apparently it's like a row of old Victorian houses, and they do like Halloween type events there. I don't think it's open yet. I don't think they open until October, and they actually have like where you could go trick-or-treating and stuff. And that's in LA. I would like to go see that. Heather, whatever goes, Louisa, would be hard to keep cleaning. I'd be like, you clean it, Ghost. You need a job. It's a good one, Heather. Whatever. Louisa goes, the lady's father built the library. I remember seeing that the lady in gray states because she loved her books. So I believe that's why she hangs around. She wants to make sure her books are taken care of properly. Louisa goes, she walked the alley back and forth. Ooh, that is crazy. If I saw that, I would get chills. That is super crazy. Trying to think what else we have. I know we have like the Halloween Horror Nights and Knox Scary Farm and stuff like that. I know the Fairplex has something that's gonna start. That's like, I've never been to it. Elaine goes, that's spooky. Louisa goes, never stopped after her death. If I had a love for books, I'm pretty sure I would make sure my books were kept in proper order. So I'd probably be doing the same thing as her. Chris Barber goes, the only scary thing I know around me is or was Crybaby Bridge. I actually remember hearing a baby cry when I went in high school. Ooh, spooky. Jennifer Marie goes, Knox Scary Farm is too much for me because of all the jump scares. I actually haven't been to Knox Scary Farm since I was in high school, I think. But usually all the jump scares don't get me. They try to scare me, but I just wave at them. I'm like, hey, what's up? You look cool. Or I try to guess who's going to jump scare me, and usually I get it. There's every once in a while they do get me. And I'm like, ah, they got me. Yeah, Heather, whatever. We went last year to the Horror Nights. And if you guys saw the video, I went in first. I'm like, I'll go in first. Louisa goes, CJ Fasten has one he sometimes goes to. Would you go, this is why I stand behind Lisa 100%. Well, Jennifer Marie, now they have that necklace. So that lets you're a no jump scare. The necklace looks cool, actually. I would get it just for the necklace, not to be scared or anything. But a lot of people were kind of talking crap about it because they're like, well, what's the point of going to those things? It's to get scared. But if you see the latter things, like, oh, I could take my mother now to see it who has a heart condition. So like, I mean, that's kind of cool though. I mean, I see it as a positive for some people that can't go to those things, and maybe they're a young person with a heart condition and they can't be jump scared. So I see it as a cool thing for someone that could never experience it but now can. That has to be like a big thing for them. Yeah, Jennifer Marie, they did. They just mentioned it. I think yeah, they mentioned it. It's like a cool necklace with, I think, a spider on it. It looks cool. Louisa goes, you can visit CJ's haunted farm. That sounds cool. Jennifer Marie goes, my children are definitely braver than me. They like mazes. Elaine, we have an attraction. Oh, I've heard of the 13th floor, if I'm thinking of the right one. Wendy Marie, it's at Knox Scary Farm offers a necklace you can buy. It lights up, and I think it has a spider on it, if I'm not mistaken, that tells the scare actors not to jump scare you. And it's kind of, a lot of people kind of were talking, because I always read the comments when something comes up on a news article just to see what people say. And a lot of people are like, why would you get that? The whole point of going is to get scared. But then you would see, oh, I can take my so-and-so who has a heart condition now. They can experience it. So, I mean, I see the positive of it. It's kind of cool. D. Nice goes, during World War II, what we know today as the Mount Sac campus, school next to Cal Poly Pomona, is actually an Army hospital and later Navy hospital. As World War II came to end, local leaders anticipated the return of young students to complete their college education. Some of the older classrooms still have No, wait, D. Nice, I did not know. That's cool. I never heard of that. That is so cool. Tyranna! What's up? You know I had to say it. D. Nice goes, I can confirm the hauntings. Jennifer Marie, I saw your post in Telegram. That is crazy. And by the way, guys, if you didn't know, we have a Telegram as well. If you guys want to join, if one of the mods could drop the link for it, because I don't have it offhand. D. Nice goes, the older buildings ghosts disrupt the class sessions. That is so cool. I'm sorry, that is so cool. I went there, I think, for a semester. But I never had anything happen to me. And I went to Cal Poly Pomona too. I think I went there for a year, but I never really, college was just not for me. Well, it was more of my parents' dream and not mine. So when you're kind of going for, yeah, Heather, whatever, I kind of agree with you. If a ghost did a disturbing thing, they'll be like, yes, we don't have to talk about history. We can talk about the ghost. Wendy goes, I have two little girls that giggle and laugh in my 100-year-old cabin. They play when I put my white noise is when I hear them. Oh, that is crazy, Wendy. That's cool. Like Heather whatever said, that's cool. That would kind of scare me a bit, but that'd be cool though. I can imagine, Wendy. That would be, yeah, you'd be like, what? I hit the wrong button, guys. Susan Wright goes, there are friendly spirits. Jennifer Marie says, let me see all your bracelets. Which one is your favorite? Actually, this one is, because it glows. And then I have this little, it's like a flower one. This one is my screen name, Grey Wolf, that my dad came up with, so it kind of has a thing. And then I got one that says fearless, because I do have anxiety and I don't let anything stop me, even with the anxiety, so that's like a reminder for it. And then I have an evil eye on that end. This one says carpe diem, seize the day, which is what I try to do all the time. This is the next one, but it's like a Loki bracelet. I don't know if any of you guys heard of it. They have cool little, they're like kind of, I don't know what you call them, like a silicone type of bracelet, but they look like the beaded bracelet, so I think they're cool. This one's in a obsidian bracelet with the cat on it, because I like cats. And then this one's just I forgot what stone this one is, but, and then my watch, of course. But I like stuff. Even my ring glows. This little ring right here, it glows. So if I'm in a movie theater, my ring and my bracelet glow. Elaine goes, my ex worked in the Pacific headquarters building in Hawaii. When I was there, it was super creepy. We'll email you that story. Definitely, Elaine. I would love to hear it. Thank you, D Nice. Michael, nothing in the house. What is up? Jennifer Marie goes, I have a petrified wood one, a jasper one, and a purple amethyst one. Super cool. I like gemstone bracelets. So whenever I see that kind of stuff, I'm like, or like the beaded bracelets, or I like the little word bracelets too, if you notice. Heather whatever goes, I want Loki to deliver my bracelet. Thank you, Heather whatever. All right, guys, have you guys heard of the Ammons, the Ammon family haunting in Indiana? Nerd Report! Thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Hearts for Nerd Report, guys. Welcome, Chris, Kate, Rich, Chantilly, Private Jet Rental, To the Wolf Pack. Hearts for everybody. Hey, Chantilly, I know you're listening. Nerd Report's going, who's matching me? Rochelle goes, I read a few articles about how bracelets, all that. Ooh, I have to read that, Rochelle. That would be cool. I know some bracelets are like protecting, so I kind of wear ones that Heather whatever goes, I had a beaded one. I lost one and got a second. Louisa goes, being in Indiana, possibly, but never in the area. Heather whatever goes, no, I haven't. Louisa goes, I have for health and anxiety. Matthew goes, still nothing on the kids show that had the tricycle moving by itself into a store. Going to be racking my brain trying to remember what the show was called. Now you got me trying to rack my brain, Matthew. Chris Barber goes, I wear a Shungite bracelet. The stone blocks EMF. Ooh. Cheryl goes, no, I haven't heard it. I did not know about that too, Chris, as Heather whatever said. Water Dragon goes, do those weight loss bracelets work? I don't, to be honest with you, I don't think so. But you know how they have placebos? And if you're thinking it works, it's gonna work. Jen Decker said, my friend who took his life used to talk to me through my radio. He turned it on at all hours of the day and night. That was it, kind of to say that just to say hello to you, Jen, because that's cool. Sarah Ortiz, I haven't seen you in a minute. Welcome. Heather Whatever goes, I make jewelry but never beaded ones. Actually, Heather Whatever, I like all kinds of jewelry. I like all kinds of bracelets, but I pretty much kind of wear the beaded ones. Chris, you did become a member. You became a member on my Patreon. Chris Barber, thank you for becoming a member on my Patreon. I just got the email. It worked. Hearts for Chris, guys. Chris goes, I keep black obsidian in my car. I do have a Patreon, guys, if you'd like to join my Patreon too as well. Chris Barber goes, I keep black obsidian in my car for protection. I have one on my necklace, Chris. It's of it's a moon. If you guys can see it, wherever it is. Right there. Jin goes, yeah, I talked to him like he was there. It was interesting. That's cool though, Jin. Super cool. That he's coming back to checking up on you. And D Nice dropped the link for my Patreon for anyone who would like to join my Patreon as well. Just another way you can support. Well, how I came about, this is a weird thing. I was just, last night I was going through, and this is a pretty old case. And I've known about this case. But I was just scrolling through YouTube and a video popped up about it just out of nowhere in my, because you know how you scroll through YouTube and it suggests you videos? It just popped up and I was like, wait a minute. And it was a fairly new one. I go, this case is old. So I took that as a sign to talk about it today. Jen Decker goes, I have a shungite sticker on my phone. I did not know about that blocks EMFs. And Chris got a gifted membership to the Wolfpack too as well. Courtesy of Nerd Report. So this article is from the lineup. And I've actually seen this. I don't know if you've heard of that little film called Demonhouse. But, which I have the poster. Well, you can't see the poster because my name is covering it. But I have the poster for it right here. Which is basically a documentary about this case. So I wanted to know how accurate that documentary is to this article. Because it's a pretty... Well, the house is not in existence anymore because it was torn down. And the basement, the stairs in the basement with the dirt are in the Haunted Museum in Vegas. which I want to go to one of these years. But it's called A Real Life Exorcism, the harrowing tale of the Ammons family haunting. The Indiana family went through hell, literally. We often meet stories of possession with skepticism, swathing them in accusations of a hoax. No one was more apprehensive of these supernatural claims than law enforcement. But when it came to the Ammons family haunting in Gary, Indiana back in 2011, police captain Charles Austin suspended his disbelief. Austin had been a veteran of the Gary Police Department for more than 3 decades when he came on to the unusual case. A woman, Latoya Ammons, claimed that she, her mother, Rosa Campbell, and her 3 young children were the victims of a vicious demonic haunting. When Austin first heard their tale, he thought they were trying to scam money out of the public. But after several visits to the Ammons house, he became a believer. As the police and the Department of Child Services investigated the odd behavior going on inside the home, they compiled nearly 800 pages of official documents. These are just a portion of the details as described by the witnesses. It began with the files. While it's impossible to say whether the Ammons families experienced genuine demonic possession or just a shared delusion, Latoya claims this bizarre occurrence all began with flies. The Ammons had just moved into a rental house in November of 2011. Their small and quiet neighborhood had a screened-in porch which became overrun with large black flies come December. It was odd timing given the chilly weather, and no matter how many times the family killed these insects, they just kept coming back in droves. But there were more concerning things afoot in the home. Latoya and Rosa claimed that around this time they also heard heavy footsteps ascending the basement stairs. When the door leading from the basement to the kitchen creaked open, no one was there. The noises continued even when they locked the door. Rosa claims that she awoke one night to find a shadowy figure pacing the living room. In his path were large, wet boot prints. But this growing unease soon gave way to terror as the strange presence focused in on the children. I'll have to check out that shungite. I've never heard of it. It's got me intrigued now. Levitation and cleansing. At roughly 2 a.m. on March 10th, 2012, the Ammons family were awake, still processing the grief from the recent loss of a loved one. Latoya was in her mother's bedroom with her 12-year-old daughter and her daughter's friend when she cried out for Rosa. Rosa barreled into the bedroom to find the 12-year-old unconscious, levitating over the bed. The Ammons claim they took action by surrounding the bed and praying. As the 12-year-old lowered to the bed, she awoke with no memory of what had just occurred. The visitors and the Ammons' house that night refused to return. I don't blame them. I don't think I would either. Latoya and her mother weren't sure exactly what they were dealing with, but they were fairly certain it was something supernatural. They sought help from someone who understood these kinds of problems better than they did. From there, the pair called up several churches, but most simply dismissed them. One church offered advice at last, after paying a visit to the home and declaring it filled with spirits. The Ammons were instructed to cleanse the house. They had to wipe everything down with bleach and ammonia, and then draw crosses on each door and window with oil. Latoya also painted crosses on her children's forehead and poured olive oil on their hands and feet. Wanting to ensure they've done that most that they could, the family then reached out to 2 clairvoyants. These supernatural specialists determined that more than 200 demons were currently occupying the residence. Due to their Christian faith, Latoya and Rosa found this easy to believe. The clairvoyants urged the Ammons to move, but their financial situation didn't allow it. Instead, Latoya took the clairvoyant's secondary advice. She constructed an altar in the basement, a table donned in a white sheet, holding up a white candle and a statue of Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. Latoya and another individual put on white shirts and scarves, burning sage and sulfur throughout the house as they read Psalm 91 from the Bible. For 3 days, the house was blissfully quiet, and then things got worse. Actually, Wendy, the house was torn down. Evidence of demons? At this point, Latoya believed that demon possessed her three children, ages 7, 9, and 12. She described their eyes as bulging and their smiles as evil. Her mother agreed that their voices deepened when the strange energy came over them. While Rosa, the heck are they? Multi-meal sheet pan? I'm getting distracted by the food over here. While Rosa said she was immune to the possession because she was born with a special protection from evil, Latoya had a different experience. She said that the demons would come over her and make her feel warm and lightheaded. She would feel a loss of control as her whole body trembled. Her 7-year-old son began sitting in a closet to talk to someone no one else could see, a person who described what it was like to be murdered. This boy would later come flying out the bathroom as if tossed, and Latoya's 12-year-old needed stitches after getting hit with a headboard. Her daughter claimed that at times it felt like someone was holding her down and choking her. She said a voice told her she'd never see her family again, that she wouldn't be alive for 20 minutes more. The DCS documents the next startling occurrence. After the Ammons family requested their physician, Dr. Oniyukwa, pay a visit to their home, both of Latoya's sons began cursing him in demonic voices. Medical staff witnessed the youngest son being lifted into the air without anybody laying a hand on him. He was tossed into the wall and both boys lost consciousness. As they were unable to be roused, Oniyuku's staff dialed 911, bringing in about 8 police officers and multiple ambulances. No one was certain what was unfolding, but the boys were rushed to Methodist Hospital campus. When Latoya tried to anoint her sons in olive oil again, the hospital personnel laughed at her. She turned to prayer instead. When her 9-year-old awoke, he had returned to normal, but the younger boy woke up screaming and thrashing hard enough that it required 5 men to hold him down. Demon possession or child abuse? Someone placed a call to DCS requesting investigation into potential child abuse or neglect. The unnamed caller suspected mental illness in the family, resulting in the children performing for their mother, who encouraged their behavior. The family case manager, Valerie Washington, found the children to all be physically healthy and devoid of any injurious marks. A psychological evaluation of Latoya declared her to be of sound of mind. When Washington interviewed Latoya's youngest son, he bared his teeth and growled, his eyes rolling back in his head. He then strangled his brother, refusing to cease until adults pried him away. They interviewed the boys again later that evening with a nurse, Willie Lee Walker, present. Their grandmother also joined them in a small room. The 7-year-old continued his growling. In a strange voice, the young boy declared, "It is time to die. I will kill you." In response, the middle child began headbutting the grandmother's stomach. Rosa took his hand in hers and began to pray desperately. The official DCS report, as corroborated by the nurse, claims that the 9-year-old then donned an unsettling grin. He proceeded to walk backwards up the wall until he reached the ceiling and flipped over Rosa to land on his feet. He never let go of his grandmother's hands. The case manager said the boy hadn't run up the wall as if in an acrobatic stunt. He simply glided upward with ease. She claims that after that, she ran out of the room in terror with the nurse following close behind. The next day, the DCS took emergency custody of the Ammons children without a court order. Both Latoya and her children were distraught after already going through so much they didn't want to be without each other. Bring in the chaplain. On the morning of April 20th, 2012, Reverend Michael Magano received a call from a hospital chaplain with an unusual request. He was asked to perform an exorcism on Latoya's 9-year-old son. While he didn't immediately agree to the task, he began with an interview to first rule out if the odd behavior had any natural causes. As Latoya and Rosa spent 2 hours going over their harrowing experiences, a bathroom light began to flicker whenever Magano would approach the light to investigate. It stopped flickering. Magano believed their flickering to be an active demonic force, a force he thought might be afraid of him. Later in the interview, the blinds in the kitchen began to sway without any breeze. Magano also claimed to see wet footprints trailing through the living room. Latoya then complained she felt a headache coming on. When Magano pressed a crucifix to her forehead, she convulsed. A 4-hour interview had Magano convinced the family was not only being harassed by demons, but cohabitating with ghosts. He blessed the house before he left and urged the women to find somewhere else to stay. Latoya and Rosa temporarily relocated to a relative's house. The women had to return to the house less than a week later to accompany their DCS case manager, and the Lake County Police on an inspection. Out of curiosity, officers from the Gary and Hammond Police Departments asked to join in on the tour, which is what brought Captain Charles Austin into the home. Latoya refused to enter the property, but Rosa guided the others through. Inside, she warned the officers that demons seemed to occupy the space beneath the stairs. For his part, Austin admitted to believing in ghosts but never demons until this day. While the officers were interviewing Rosa in the home, one of the audio recorders began to malfunction, indicating that the batteries were dying. Despite having been replaced just before arriving, another officer recording the interview, but upon playing it back, he heard an unidentified voice whisper, "Hey." They took photos while they perused, and one documenting the basement stairs displayed a cloudy white image in the upper corner. An enlargement of the photo caused the cloud to resemble a face, as well as a second green image that seemed to be a woman. Austin has his own eerie observation in relation to the home. He documented that the garage door at the Ammons home refused to open, even with the power on. Photos taken on his iPhone feature strange silhouettes. The radio in his police-issued Ford malfunctioned on the way home, and later, the seat in his personal Infiniti moved forward and backwards on its own. Psychological evaluations commence. As the DCS investigated the Ammons case, they found that the children were at least partially neglected, as Latoya did not have them in school regularly. Records reflect that the DCS also found this to be true 3 years prior. Ammons claimed that their absences were a result of the spirits making them sick or keeping them up all night. A psychological evaluation of the youngest Ammon child revealed that he tended to act possessed upon being challenged or asked questions he didn't want to answer. The boy seemed to be completely coherent and logical until the subject of demons came up. These stories were strange and fragmented and changed with each retelling. The doctor in charge of this evaluation, Dr. Wright, believed that there was no real psychotic disorder present in the child. However, it seemed to be a case of a child stuck in a delusional system perpetrated by his mother. Another doctor, Dr. Schwartz, came to a similar conclusion upon evaluating the older son and daughter. As a more psychologist examined Latoya herself, she was determined to be guarded, but not in the grips of a psychotic or thought disorder. One doctor suggested she be evaluated to determine if her religiousness was masking delusional ideations. Despite these conclusions, Latoya and her children insisted their problems were the results of demons. So they would not back down. Panic attacks and bizarre physical symptoms. Latoya, Rosa, Austin, and 2 other officers from the original trip returned to the Ammons home on May 10th after hours. Magano arrived with 2 Lake County police officers, a police dog, and a new DCS family case manager, Samantha Lick had volunteered to go in Washington's stead, as the woman didn't want to return to the house. As the county officer walked around the house with the dog, the canine showed no particular interest. As the others headed into the basement, Illick touched a strange sticky liquid dripping in the basement. Magano searched the dirt beneath the stair for a pentagram or cursed object, or perhaps evidence that someone had been buried there. Digging a large hole turned up no items of note. After the officers refilled the hole, Magano blessed some salts and spread it beneath the stairs and around the basement. Hold on, I just heard it beep, so I'm just making sure. Alright. As the group moved up to the living room, Illick claimed her pinky finger began to tingle and go white. She said it felt as if it had been broken. She spiraled into a panic attack, unable to breathe. She fled the house to wait for the others outside. As Magano started to question Latoya inside the house, she complained of a headache and a pain in her shoulder. She left to join Illick outside. That is a weird last name. Austin refused to stay in the house past nightfall and left before it got dark. The other officers continued to investigate the home, however, and found a strange oily substance dripping from the blinds in the bedroom. It seemed to come from nowhere. They wiped the oil off the blinds and then sealed the room. When they returned 25 minutes later, the same substance had returned. Magano claimed this was a manifestation of a demonic presence and wrote to Bishop Dale Mezclick for permission to perform an exorcism. Actually, Rochelle, I have not. Not yet. The exorcism commences. Magano's request for a church-sanctioned exorcism was denied at first. Mezclick encouraged him to reach out to other priests to perform a minor exorcism, one that could be done without involvement of the church. When Magano consulted other priests, he told them to look it up on the internet. To expel the demonic energy and spirits, Magano performed what he called an intense blessing. He also performed a minor exorcism on Latoya, which consisted of prayers and appeals to cast out the demons. This 2-hour ritual was attended by Illick and 2 police officers. Illick claims that after visiting the home, she experienced a slew of medical problems. A week after her final visit, she got 3rd-degree burns from a motorcycle. Within a month, she broke 3 ribs, a hand, and an ankle in 3 separate incidents. Following the ritual, Magano encouraged Latoya to look up the names of the demons that had attached themselves to her. Every demon had a personality, and those personalities were represented by the problems the family faced during this time. As Latoya and her friends searched online, their computer kept shutting down. She persisted, though, through the technical difficulties and the dizziness, and found names that fit, such as Bezbud, Lord of the Flies. I know how to pronounce that, I'm just not pronouncing it correctly. With a minor write-down, Mezclick at last gave Magano permission to perform a real exorcism. It was a similar process to the ritual already performed, but stronger due to the power of the Catholic Church. Ultimately, Latoya endured 3 major exorcisms, 2 in English and 1 in Latin. Latoya convulsed through the ordeal, claiming the demons inflicted pain as a struggle to hold on. After these exorcisms, Latoya and Rosa relocated to a new home in Indianapolis, though the children still remain in DCS care. Magano blessed their new home to prevent future problems. No problems were reported in the Ammons' former home after the family left. In November of 2012, about 6 months apart, Latoya was finally reunited with her children. The children reported feeling safer in their new home. There has been no more reports of demonic disturbances. And I guess hold on. It was demolished 2 years later, and so it was demolished in 2016. So, guys, what do you think of that story? It kind of collaborates with Demonhouse. Chris Barber goes, I think I've heard of this case. Cheryl King, wow, that poor family, what they went through. It's crazy because she got her children taken away because of it. Which is, it's sad. Rochelle goes, interesting. Gunner girl, what's up? Thank you, D Nice. Wendy goes, crazy, crazy demons don't play. Tyranna with the spooky. Daniel Miles, no one tested. That's what I was saying. No one tested the weird oil that was coming from the blinds. I was like, what? I would have tested that to see what it was. It's kind of like they took the word of Father Magano, and as he was saying, it was a manifestation of demonic force or something like, or activity. Zero T said really good. Like, I would have had that tested just to see, because they said they found it on the blinds, and then they sealed the room off for 25 minutes and came back, and it was still on the blind. Like, they wiped the blinds down, and it's still. Jennifer Murray goes, I don't think she was a bad mom, but I still think taking the kids out of that home was in their best interest. It was saying at first that they couldn't because they financially they couldn't do it. Louisa goes, case sounds familiar. Didn't remember it being in Gary, Indiana, though. That, unfortunately, the house is not there anymore, so no one can visit it. I think there's nothing built there. I think it's still, you have the two houses next to it, and it's just like an empty lot. So you can't go and visit it. Lisa Boo, it's a documentary, and it's called Demonhouse. No, D Nice, it was destroyed. The stairs, I believe, I think it's the stairs from the basement and the dirt underneath the stairs is at the Haunted Museum in Vegas. Chris Barber goes, Michael Jackson is from Gary, Indiana. He is. I don't think so, D Nice, to be honest with you. I think it's literally just, there's just trees there now. I don't think anybody wants to build anything on the land. I don't think I would. Zero T's, I would too, because you hear this happens a lot in demonic infestation homes. Because you never know. It could be on the land. Some of it could be on the land, because at the beginning of the article it said there was like 200 demons. Luis's life, visit the land it was on. You could, if you were in the Indiana area. Heather Wetter goes, I'm not sure it's freaky either way. Hard for the family. It is. To go through that and nobody believes you. I mean, yeah, obviously they're going to investigate, because Cheryl, why did they all, you know what? I have no idea. They probably, I bet you that house had cheap rent. And so they rented it out thinking nothing, and it probably wasn't I don't know if it was haunted before they lived in there or if they were the cause of the haunting, because sometimes the family could be a cause of the haunting. Delea Lux! Zero T's goes, the land has bad juju, is cursed. Just imagine being the houses right next to it, on either side of it. That has to be crazy. That's super crazy. Water Dragon goes, how would a dude chanting some Latin get rid of 200 dreams? I have no idea. I don't think he did, but he got rid of what was, he did an exorcism on Latoya. So whatever was attached to her, he got rid of. D Nice says so many things you can do and undo in Latin. It's crazy. But I don't think he got rid of what was in the house. I think he just got rid of what was attached to Latoya. I guess Latoya was the one needing the exorcism. And I guess she had like 3 of them at that point. Elfig! Elfig goes, hello everyone, came in late, but I don't know, you mentioned it, but I believe Nick from Ghost Adventures did go to investigate it and spoke to the family and had him in his show. That I don't know because I don't really follow Nick. So I'm not sure if he did or not. He pops up on my feed every once in a while, but I don't really follow him. Water Dragon goes, if that's the case, why do they not teach Latin at school anymore? It's useful. Cheryl King really enjoyed these stories. Thank you, Cheryl. I don't remember them having Latin when I was in high school, but they might. I guess, according to Jalissa, they still do. But I don't remember it being offered when I went to high school. If you speak and study, Wendy's saying if you speak and study most European languages, the root and derivative is always Latin root. Julissa goes, our local high school does, so I guess there is a high school that still teaches Latin. Water Dragon goes, I took a year Latin in high school, then they changed it to German. Yeah, that's what I remember. In my high school, they had Spanish, German. I don't remember what the other languages were. French. And I know there's one other, but I can't remember. Jennifer goes, Bray only offered Spanish, Japanese, and French. Oh, that's weird that you had Japanese, Jennifer. Elfig said had him in his show years ago. He stood in the house before they tore it up. Zero T's goes, I guess we should learn Latin just in case we need it. Chris Barber goes, all we had was Spanish and French. Julissa goes, Italian and Mandarin. That's cool. Super cool, guys. All right, guys, I'm going to open it up to questions. You guys have any questions? Feel free to ask. Criticisms, complaints, comments. I just like saying that. Jeffrey Marie, no huge desire for it. And Brea, everyone wanted to take. That is weird, Jennifer, that everyone wanted to take Japanese. I took Spanish in high school. Water Dragon goes, at least learn the Latin exorcism speech. Julissa has a complaint. All right. And she has her hand up, too. Go for it, Julissa. D-Nice is asking, will I be at the meetup? I will be at the meetup, guys. So if you're going to the meetup on, I was told Saturday, I will be there. Oh, Julissa was just kidding. I like, though, that you had a complaint and you had your hand up, though, Julissa. Matthew goes, my school only had Spanish, but it's Florida, which I don't remember a thing of. Latin is good if you want to name a discovery like a bug or something. Cheryl King, what do you think of the apps everyone uses on their investigations? I am still, I'm 50-50 with those. But I'm thinking, too, if a ghost wants to talk, they're going to use anything to talk through. So if it has energy, they're going to use it. So I feel like, but I'm still 50-50 with them. Jennifer Murray will be at the meetup in spirit. Tyrana is asking, how was Lewis's DJ event? It was super cool. I was behind him filming when he was mixing, so I had everyone looking at me. Nah, it was cool. I had fun. Zero T's goes, nowadays with too many evil entities trying to find a weak coast, it will come in handy. Definitely. Bernadette. D Nice goes, will you be mixing on Rave United? I can. One of these days, yours, when I get a chance, I could. Matthew, the reason why the live streams were buffering because they have a gazillion phones in the festival pinging on one cell tower. And also, too, it's kind of like up, like in the hills, kind of. So it was kind of like, it was kind of isolated, but not. There were homes nearby, so that's the reason why the music had to stop at 12. But, Zero T's, I don't know where it's going to be, so you probably got to stay posted with Nerd Report. Apparently there's going to be a meetup on Saturday, is what I heard. Steph is coming in town, and I believe Andy as well from Popcorn Planet. Julissa, it was huge. There's a lot of people in there. Nerd Report seen sneak peek video of him mixing before being posted on Rave United after Grace Report. So if you guys want to head, once I end the stream, if you guys want to head over to Rave United on YouTube to check out Lewis's mixing, and my camera work. Go check it out. Lisa Boo goes, what was the attendance number for Nocturnal? I have no clue, but there was a lot of people there. There was a lot on the pre-party, just in camp alone, like people camping. There was a lot of people. But I'm kind of glad we didn't camp, because I guess the showers, they had an issue with the showers. So they had to shut the showers down, because I got all the little notifications because I have the app. And then they were like, okay, campers, the showers are going to be open from 4 to 8. Thank you for your patience. I'm like, 4 hours? That sucks. And Bernadette posted the link, guys. So after the stream here, go check out Rave United. See DJ Lewis Love in the mix, and see my camera work. And you'll see how many people were looking at me. No, actually, it didn't bother me. No, Chris, they actually have showers that they provide, but the bathrooms, the porta potties are nasty there. Like, literally, it was nasty. Like, that was the one thing I hated about that one. Or the porta potties. And then, too, you go to wash your hands, and they had one of those, like, porta sinks, and they didn't have any water in them. So it was like, after getting out of the nasty porta potties, you couldn't wash your hands. So, like, the next day, I finally brought some hand sanitizer, because I was like, this is nasty. That's the only thing I don't like about it, is the bathrooms. At least even the bathrooms at EDC were nasty. I mean, they had the plumbing ones because it's part of a racetrack, but like, they were nasty. Like, I felt like they didn't clean them. Zero T's goes, I live close to the LA area. That would be so cool. I'm not sure where it's going to be, Zero T, so you probably have to keep an eye out on Nerd Report, because I don't even know where it's going to be. Chris Barber, I'll probably do that the next time. Because those showers were nasty at EDC. I literally want, like, now I'm all about, like, my bucket list right now is one of those camper vans that have the shower and the bathroom in it. It's on my bucket list. I want one of those now. Because I don't want to ever see the nasty. Oh. For the most part, the showers were cool until the last night. And then Vegas at that time had a lot of grasshoppers. There were grasshoppers in the shower. And it was cold water. So it was, yeah. And I mean, it's a cool experience. Hey, at least you had showers. Because if you go camping, you really don't have any of that stuff. But it's kind of glamping in a way, but it's a disgusting glamping. But after that experience, now I want to get a camper that has the shower and the bathroom in it. Yeah, Rochelle, yeah, these restrooms were... Ugh. Like, you seriously want to pull out a can of Lysol and just spray everything, but you can't take a can of Lysol in there with you. And it was like, it's so unsanitary. Like, you would think they would make sure there was water so at least you could wash your hands. But all in all, I still had fun. It was just that part. It was nasty. It was. I literally opened one of the porta potties and there was like I don't even want to tell you what was on the floor, but there was stuff on the floor of the porta potty and I was like, nope. Zero T's goes, my parrot is copying Lisa's laugh. It's so funny. Oh, how hilarious. That's cool. That's making me laugh now. But I survived. The next day, I just brought hand sanitizer with me. That was fine. But it's still, yeah. But it is what it is. I mean, there's no restrooms there to begin with. So at least there were restrooms. All right, guys, keep the questions going. Jennifer Murray goes, just went camping in Arupa Valley Regional Park in June. They kept the bathrooms clean but would not refill up the soap. It was annoying. I know. You would think it's a health code thing or something. I'm pretty sure it is. And you would think they would make sure you have soap so you don't get sick. But no. Tyrana goes, your laugh makes me laugh. Water Dragon goes, an ambulance camper would be so cool. Turn on the siren if you see a traffic jam ahead. You know what? I would do that too. Julissa goes, my husband said that's so cool after he heard you say it. Oh, Matthew with the earnest. Ew. Oh, that's a smart thing to do, Jennifer Marie. I would take dish soap with me and offer it to all the other ladies coming out. Gunner Girl, it was. The actual event was 2 days and the pre-party was, so it was like 3 days. Because the campers got there on Friday and then the event started Saturday and Sunday. So it was 3 days at Glen Helen in San Bernardino. Chris Barber goes, just go to a porta potty at Darlington Raceway, worst I've ever seen. And then also I heard like at EDC before we went, like one of the restrooms the year prior, like somebody like vandalized it. So they destroyed all the toilet seats so you couldn't use it. And they take all the toilet paper too. D Nice goes, Big Bear Lake. There are times at the Serrano campgrounds that huge ass beetles go in the bathroom. I kept screaming when going to the bathroom at night. Oh, just to brush my teeth. Oh, I mean, you're out with nature, so that's expected. I know, that's what I'm going to do from now. I'm going to bring my hand sanitizer or wipes, like the moist wipes. I'm going to get a pack of moist wipes for next time. For sure. Or like the spray sanitizer so I could spray the seat. Or be like, psh, psh, psh. D Nice goes, moths I can handle flying at me, but beetles are bigger. Yeah. Water Dragon camping on Vancouver Island. You get up in the morning and have to be careful walking around as there are big slugs everywhere. Oh. I'd be worried that I'd step on one. Not because they're disgusting, but like the slug doesn't deserve that. Unless it's poisonous. If it's gonna harm me, then it's either me or them. But for sure, next time I go, I'm bringing wipes and hand sanitizer. Then I won't ever have a problem. And then this time we ate from a food truck instead of like the booth selling food, because I knew at least the food trucks had to abide by health standards. I don't know about these booths that sell food. Because the food trucks have to go through a health inspection, so I knew at least. But the booths that are made, they had like they would get the food from warming things, like big tubs that would keep the food warm. And I think that's how Lewis and I got sick at EDC. So this time I did not eat from a food booth. Chris Barber goes, Japanese beetles are small, but they swarm and fly in your face. I don't think I've ever seen a Japanese beetle. All right, guys, keep the questions going. I'll probably stay on for a few more minutes. D Nice is going, how you doing? I'm doing good, D Nice. Thanks for asking. I didn't have to work today, so that was even better. I took today off. So that made my day better. I could rest. Water Dragon's asking, any particular plans for Halloween? None, really. I'm probably just going to watch a bunch of horror movies. Or try to make time. Try to make time to watch some horror movies, but no planned. Or maybe try to go to like a haunted attraction. Maybe. Not a theme park, but maybe like a pumpkin patch, maybe? Julissa is asking, have you or Lewis ever DJ'd a party? Lewis has done so in he did a wedding recently, I think 2 years ago, for his friend. But he used to do them all the time when he was younger. I have not. D Nice goes, I just got invited to the Hocus Pocus drag show. I'm excited. That's cool. Chris Barber goes, I'm saving up for a bunch of movies for Halloween. I'm probably going to see some. I'm going to try to catch some movies I've been wanting to see for Halloween. Water Dragon, have you ever attended a seance or fortune teller? I think my mom did before I was born. And then I kind of did, but I don't think it was a legit fortune teller. I think it was one of those for fun fortune tellers type of thing. When I was younger. Cheryl, you don't do Halloween in Tasmania? No way. How come? Is it just not a thing there? And then Lewis also did a show in June. He did Trauma Fest. And he did another one before then. D Nice goes, are you planning to go to one of the that would be fun. No, but that would be fun. D Nice, the Hollywood Cemetery events. I know my mom did before I was born. She went to I think it was a tarot card reader to ask about me. But I don't remember what the exact questions were. Cheryl goes, not a big thing down here. Because Halloween's my favorite time of year. Zero Tizos, I had something bad happen to me in a private party. Went in a porta potty. I started peeing and someone closed the lid. Couldn't see because it was dark. I was in bad shape. Whoa! That is crazy. I know, when you go in those porta potties and it's dark, you cannot see anything. Julissa goes, how fun. Lewis is really good at DJing. He's in his element. Carbonized Stardust, what's up? Halloween is my fave. It's my time to shine as a super white ginger. Bring on the ghost. Super cool. Wendy, I don't know if I want to see at a porta potty. So I don't think I would bring a headlamp. That totally sucks though, too, Zero Ortiz. Chris Barber goes, I never wanted to see a fortune teller because of not wanting to hear when I'm going to die. Yeah. Yeah, but they don't really tell you that though. Any last minute question, guys? D-Nice goes, porta potties require sieging, cleansing, and oh yes, they do. Definitely. I look though to see if there's somebody in there, but I mean, you could see that much when you're opening the door, but I don't want to see anything else. Yeah, they should have literally somebody going through there with spray. It's cool though. The food trucks actually had like a hand sanitizer there, so you could use it. D Nice is asking, what are you going to be for Halloween this year? I'm torn because I found this place that has, I've always wanted a skeleton like jumper, so I'm torn between. And then I also saw that they had a werewolf one, which I've always wanted to be a werewolf. It wouldn't be the face, but it's like it's kind of like pajamas, but not. And I'm torn between a werewolf and a skeleton. D Nice is going, what is Lewis going to be? I have no clue, D Nice. He usually doesn't dress. They don't normally dress up. I don't normally dress up either, but I may do. What day is Halloween? I was thinking of possibly doing like a Halloween stream. Oh, it's on a Tuesday. Maybe I could do it. I was thinking about doing a Halloween stream and dressing up. Gunner Girl, how did we meet? We met on Facebook. Carol Smart, what is up? D-Nice goes, you know what that means? Vegan Taco Tuesday. Sure, why not? I like tacos. I like potato tacos. They're good. From Taco Nazo. No, they've got good bean and cheese burritos too. That's what I just said, D-Nice. The potato tacos. D-Nice goes, I knew you were going to say that. So do I, D-Nice. It's a good taco place. I really don't go anywhere else. Like, I don't cheat on them. There's like an all vegan, like Mexican food place in Pomona, but I've tried it a few times and I want to like it, but they're missing something like spice or something. Like, there's no flavor. Like, they're the only place I know that has, like, I can get a breakfast burrito from, because I can't get a breakfast burrito anywhere else. And Water Dragon, I am vegetarian, and I've always wanted a breakfast burrito, and I try theirs. I even put hot sauce on it, and it's like it's missing something. Carbonized Stardust, I kill germs for a living. Portable potties is a hard no. Yes, I've... And I like noodles. We found this cool, it was a shake it up trick. Like, it was ramen noodles, but it was like not like actual, it was like a draw ramen. Like, it had a little bit and you shake it up and it had like fresh veggies. Oh my God. I wish I knew where to get it around here. It was a food truck, but it was so good. It was good and filling. Like, they were like, just make sure you give it a good shake, and you'd shake it, open it up, and start. Oh, really good. And it was like this big, and you wouldn't think that would fill you, but it does. Louisa, thank you. Thanks for joining. D-Nice is asking, can you handle Thai spice? I mean, I have the Thai fried rice and the pad Thai, so I usually say mild, though, so I've never actually probably tried it too spicy, so I don't know about that one. I usually get everything mild. Julissa goes, cauliflower tacos are good, too. I don't think I've ever had cauliflower tacos. I would have to try it. There was a girl that I used to work with was vegetarian, and she would make ceviche. Like a vegetarian ceviche. Oh my God, it was so good. She didn't use, like, she would use cauliflower instead of shrimp, which was weird. Or fish. Carbonized Stardust goes, I like to ask them what spice level they think I could handle. They always bring mild, and they aren't wrong. Yeah, I usually just stick with mild, because sometimes my stomach can take it and sometimes I don't. Carol, you don't have to worry about, you got this. Don't worry about your doctor's appointment. You got this. Don't stress about it. I know it's nerve-wracking, but don't stress. You got it. Hearts for Carol, guys. To give her some healing energy for her doctor's appointment tomorrow, so that she won't be nervous. I know Carbonized Stardust. I know it because I've been to I went to British Columbia, and yeah, the Mexican was not, I think we did go to a Mexican restaurant, and it wasn't that great. So yeah. D-Nice is asking, how am I weird? I just am. right, guys, I am going to end the stream here. I know we're having a meetup in LA on Saturday, so I'll see. I don't know where it's going to be. I may go live tomorrow, so keep a lookout. And thank you guys for joining me. I missed you guys so bad on Saturday, but I hope you enjoyed my video that posted. If you guys did not see it, about Ing and about the twins, conjoined twins, check it out. And also, too, once I end the stream, check out Rave United on YouTube if you want to see a clip of Lewis mixing at Nocturnal Wonderland. Nerd Report saying my mix is up, so go check out Rave United. James S., what's up? Thank you. And I will see you. It's a teaser, Nerd Report says, so check it out. On Rave United. Bernadette dropped the link. I may go live tomorrow, so look out for that. I'll post it in Telegram and all my socials so you guys will know, and keep a lookout for it. And thank you for joining me. Missed you guys. So glad to be able to go live today. And I will see you on the next one, guys. Stay spooky. Good night, guys.